original ones, all of you guys obviously were either genuinely martial artists or gymnasts. In recent years, it seems like you have some really attractive actors and actresses who I have a feeling are not.
Saying we're not attractive?
What's wrong with that?
The point being that I don't get the impression that they have the similar skills that you guys had in the early ones. And is that correct? Is that not correct? Are we?
That is correct.
You guys clearly.
That's a Tony question.
Actually, I can answer that.
It is correct, though.
It is. First of all, it's two different companies casting the show. So now, before the original show was cast here in the United States through Saban Entertainment and a company called Cadian Company. And we had a particular set of criteria that we laid out that every single person had to have dance, martial arts, or gymnastic skills in order to be in the show. When Disney took the show over after 99, I think is where they took the show over, they have a different set of priorities and a different set of problems. They shoot the show in New Zealand now, and so they don't have a 200 million person talent pool to pick from. They've got Australia, New Zealand, Canada, British Commonwealth actors. So their priorities are a little different, and Disney has a slightly different casting edge to them. I believe also that the show has at times come and gone and either been a little bit more emphasis on action, a little bit less. And I think how much martial arts depends on which direction the storyline is going to go this year. That's a really good question when you see Koichi, though.
Definitely.
That's making the decision.
He's in charge of that stuff.
He's still. I know that he's been doing a lot of action stuff. Like they get a lot more explosions. I think they have explosions every single episode. Like we didn't get that. That was like a special occasion, but he gets it all the time.
It's like our birthday.
Here's a question for you guys. Were any of you guys at Universal Studios in 90? What year was that?
94? Yeah.
Who all was there? Raise your hand if you were there. What did you guys think? Because all I could see was 6,000 faces, and it looked like when all the cameras went off in my visor, it looked like Star Trek at warp speed. So, what was your impression of the shows?
Go for it. Over and over.
What's that?
It was the same thing over and over, but I think everyone just enjoyed being there.
Cool.
For those of you who don't know, the Power Rangers' first public appearance was at Universal Studios in '94 to announce their association with DARE. And it went out in kind of a few publicity outlets. 50,000 people showed up. They had to close the Hollywood freeway and shut the park down at about 10 a.m. because they sold out. It was the biggest day Universal Studios has ever had to date.
Yeah.
So
It was amazing, and I know it was scary. It was amazing and scary.
it's like Beatles stuff, you know?
It was crazy.
Yes.
How about the show they did on Radio City?
That's the Power Ranger live tour. That was not these guys. That was actually...
We were filming the movie at the time
Yeah.
that they were having that live tour, so they had the guys in the suits doing the show, and we were in Australia doing.
I actually wrote that show, but it was done by Universal
Oh, good.
MCA, but off of my script and Shuki's script. And there was about 4 of us that wrote on it. So.
Very bad.
I can recall that same day was the earthquake day. That was a crazy day. How did that affect you guys?
That's right.
Yeah.
94 quick.
Yeah, that's
Well, Jonathan got mad that he couldn't shoot. I remember that.
that was that the same day?
I don't know if it was the same day, it was at the same time.
Because we were filming in Culver City. I think it was close.
Right.
How did it affect us?
Well, and that was the week we moved up to Valencia. We were
Yeah.
moving studios, and you remember the big freeway collapse? Yeah, that was between us and the studio.
It was maybe 3-4 blocks.
Yeah.
It wasn't far from where we actually set up and filmed, and then
Production was shut down for about a week, if I recall.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't get to the studio. It would take 3 hours to get from the northern San Fernando Valley to Valencia, which is normally about 10 minutes. So 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it was one of those things too, where the day that it happened, I got the page to come into the set, and I was, willing to do that, but I wanted to call and check on my girlfriend at the time, who lived in Burbank, and I called her, and on her cell, thank God she had one, and found out that half of her apartment building had fallen off and was in the street, and so naturally I didn't go to work. I went over to check on her, and it was crazy. That day, I think, affected all of us. I remember my bed flipped over. I had swords on the wall, like katanas and back katanas. And let me tell you, in the dark, watching the flash of the swords coming off the wall was not a good feeling. I'm hopping around in my underwear.
Dallas at that time.
Yeah, I'm hopping around in my underwear in the dark going, please don't let it land anywhere important. I used to say that, I am, I'll still do it.
questions coming.
Go for it.
I'm sure everybody's wondering this, and my initial reaction was the same. During the Wild Force Forever Red episode, did they actually contact you, Steve?
Oh, you're asking me? Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? That was just it was a miscommunication. I was living in Philadelphia at the time, and they called me. I don't know how they even found me, but they found me and they called me and they're like, "Hey, we're thinking about doing a reunion show." I was like, "Yeah, sure, okay. Well, just call me whenever you're ready." And then I had moved from that number, and I tried to get a hold of me again, and they couldn't, and I didn't know how to get a hold of them, so they couldn't wait for me anymore. And so that's the only reason. So it's my bad, you know. It's like I was just a communication failure. That's the only reason. At least that's my understanding. Is that right, Tony?
I was off the show by then, so you're on your own.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's what happened. They tried to get a hold of me and didn't know how to get a hold of me anymore. So I failed to communicate with them. And that was the only reason I wasn't on the show.
This one's for Johnny. Do you know why you were picked to come back for the recent reunion? Anybody?
Because I was the dumbest one.
Because he's Asian. Asians stick together.
Asians stick together. Brotherhood. I don't know. I think that they certainly wanted someone from the older, like the Mighty Morphin. And I don't know if they knew any other way. And obviously, Koichi and I, you know, we've done a few things together, and he can call me anytime, you know, because we talk all the time. So I think it was just that, you know. And he said, "Hey, want to come back for a couple episodes or something like that?" And it's just that. I don't know any other reason other than that.
He's cute. I knew the comment was coming. I thought I'd throw it out.
I have two questions. The first one is for Jason. Did you ever want to
Which one?
Did you ever want to be a Power Ranger on the show, or were you happy with the way your character was?
We were talking about that over lunch, and I decided there should be a Skull Ranger.
Yeah, they'll call him Ghost Rider.
Well, here's the thing. These guys had to play the straight and narrow. So when the camera would stop rolling, they could be themselves. I, on the other hand...
What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying that's all. I'm not saying... So I got to be, you know, the same idiot when the camera was rolling as when the camera was off. You know, so that was great. It was great to see these guys screwing around. As soon as the camera rolling.
Okay, so
It's funny because we all didn't talk like that. I was such a bad actor then. I sucked so bad.
Back then.
No, totally. Back then. I'm a little better now. He's continuing.
Oh, the
Yeah,
second
continue. Sorry.
Part 2.
Do any of us keep in contact with the original cast?
do any of us keep in contact with the original cast?
Absolutely. Walter Jones, the Black Ranger, is probably one of my good buds. We've kept in contact. Actually, now that I'm back in LA, I get to meet his little boy today or tomorrow. Honor Emmanuel Jones is his son's name. And, I'm very excited. Hopefully he's going to be here tomorrow, I believe.
It's a secret.
You guys do Dan Southworth? I worked on a couple films with him. I just bumped my elbow so bad. But he might be coming by tomorrow as well.
Shoot with the plaid thing on. Yeah.
I just think that like a lot of reality TV that's on now, I think really interesting way Bruce Wayne had like a panel.
Old Rangers?
The surreal Rangers? The surreal Rangers?
Let me get my wheelchair!
Stick us all in the same house. Jeez.
Just put one katana in the house and see who survives.
I had a buddy of mine who told me that he wanted me to get on the reality show for the UFC fighting.
Yeah.
I'm toying around with the idea. That's why I like it.
Would you be announcing or fighting?
I'd be fighting.
None of those guys would stand a chance either. That's my opinion.
Yeah.